Cristiano Ronaldo stood on the edge of history once again. For more than 2 decades, he has conquered records, silenced critics, and delivered unforgettable moments on football's biggest stages. But on this night, under the bright lights in Arlington, one question hung in the air. Was this the final chapter of Ronaldo's World Cup story? For 90 minutes, Portugal and Spain battled in a match that promised fireworks but delivered a slow-burning drama. Then, just when extra time seemed inevitable, one moment changed everything. One goal. One heartbreak. And perhaps the final World Cup dream of Cristiano Ronaldo. Spain and Portugal arrived as 2 of the tournament's strongest contenders, carrying the hopes of millions. Fans expected a classic showdown between football giants. Instead, the opening stages were cautious, tactical, and often frustrating. Spain looked sharper early on. A quick combination between Pedri and Dani Olmo sliced through Portugal's defense, creating a golden opportunity for Mikel Merino. The Spanish forward found himself in space, but his effort drifted wide of the post. It was an early warning sign. Not long after, Portugal goalkeeper Diogo Costa was called into action. First, he comfortably dealt with a shot from Lamine Yamal. But seconds later, Alex Baena curled a dangerous effort toward the far corner. The Spanish press box was already preparing to celebrate. Costa had other plans. With incredible reflexes, he stretched out a hand and produced a brilliant save to keep Portugal level. As the first half continued, Spain controlled possession and looked the more threatening side. Portugal struggled to build attacks and often found themselves pinned back. Cristiano Ronaldo, desperate to influence the game, repeatedly dropped deep into midfield, and even into his own half searching for involvement. For long stretches, the legendary forward was isolated. Then suddenly, the stadium came alive. A deep cross created chaos inside Spain's penalty area. João Felix directed a header toward goal, and after a touch from goalkeeper Unai Simon, the ball fell invitingly for Ronaldo. In a split second, he improvised a clever flicked finish. For a brief moment, it looked like the breakthrough Portugal had been waiting for. But Simon reacted brilliantly, diving to make the save and deny the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. It was Ronaldo's best opportunity of the night. And it would remain his closest brush with glory. Moments later, Portugal came close again. A clever set-piece routine ended with Nuno Mendes unleashing a fierce strike that rattled the crossbar. Spain had been dominant. But Portugal were beginning to believe. The second half brought more intensity. Pedro Neto looked dangerous down the right flank, helping Portugal gain momentum. Yet despite the increased energy, neither side seemed willing to take major risks. The match settled into a tense tactical battle. Every pass felt important. Every mistake felt costly. Every minute pushed the game closer to extra time. Managers searched for answers from the bench. Portugal introduced Rafael Leão in an attempt to inject pace and creativity. Spain responded with changes of their own. Lamine Yamal continued to show flashes of brilliance, testing Costa with a free kick and creating opportunities for his teammates. Bruno Fernandes fired into the side netting. Dani Olmo saw an effort blocked. Ferran Torres almost found a decisive opening. But still, the deadlock remained. Then came a decision that raised eyebrows. Spain manager Luis de la Fuente removed 2 of his most creative players, Pedri and Dani Olmo. To many observers, it looked like a signal that Spain was preparing for extra time. The tempo slowed. The tension grew. And the clock kept ticking. Then, in the 91st minute, everything changed. One move. One sequence. One unforgettable moment. Fabian Ruiz combined with Rodri. Rodri found Ferran Torres. And Torres produced a beautiful reverse pass into the path of Mikel Merino. The Arsenal midfielder had only seconds to decide. He did not hesitate. Merino struck the ball with precision. The finish was clean. The execution was ruthless. And suddenly, Spain erupted. After a match desperately searching for a moment of quality, it finally arrived when it mattered most. The stadium exploded in celebration. Spanish players sprinted toward Merino. The bench emptied. The dream was alive. For Portugal, however, the scene was devastating. There was barely any time left to respond. Desperation replaced hope. Urgency replaced patience. Portugal threw everything forward. Bernardo Silva came close with a header. João Neves had one final opportunity. But the chances slipped away. The clock showed no mercy. And then it was over. Spain had found their hero. Mikel Merino's dramatic stoppage-time winner sent La Roja into the quarter-finals and kept their championship ambitions alive. For Luis de la Fuente, the substitutions that seemed conservative ended up delivering the decisive breakthrough. For Spain, it was a night of relief and celebration. But for Cristiano Ronaldo, it was something else entirely. A night of heartbreak. A night of unfinished dreams. The man who became the first player ever to score in 6 World Cups leaves the tournament without one final magical moment to add to his remarkable legacy. Football has given Ronaldo countless triumphs throughout his extraordinary career. Yet once again the World Cup proved elusive. As Spain marched forward, one era appeared to draw to a close. And standing at the center of it all was Cristiano Ronaldo, watching as his World Cup journey ended with one last, painful twist.